Imagine you are a class teacher and you want to store the names of all students in your class. You could create the variables per student, but that's a lot of work. Instead, what if you could keep all the names together in one list? That's what arrays do in JavaScript. Hello and welcome to another episode of Learn with Riaz. In today's video, we will learn the concepts related to arrays and conclude the video with a mini project that you shouldn't miss to learn. An array is like a container that can hold multiple values under a single name. Think of an array as a classroom with numbered seats. Each seat can hold one student's name. The classroom is your array, and the seat numbers are the indexes. Let's demonstrate that with a practical example. Now let's jump into Xcode and demonstrate the working of array. Here I can generate the HTML5 boilerplate and name the document as array. Now in the script tag, let's define the students. This is the students array. It has the list of three students, Aisha, Rahul, and Sarah. And if we just do the console log and print students, let's see what happens. We just copy the path of this file and paste it here. As always, we don't see anything here yet, but if we go to the console, let's put console in the bottom of the window. Let's refresh it, and you can see it has printed the array with the three names. At the index 0, it is Aisha. At the index 1, it is Rahul. And the index 2, it is Sarah. Now, what if we try to access the index 0? Refresh index 0, it is Aisha, as it is here on the index 0. As I told you already, the arrays start with index 0, not 1. And if you use 1 here, as expected, it should print Rahul in the console. If we refresh here, we see Rahul. This is one of the ways to define the arrays. Why arrays are useful? Why do we use them? If your class has 30 students, you don't want to create 30 separate variables to hold them. With one array, you can easily store, access, and manage all of them. Technically, when dealing with a collection of data, we use arrays instead of a single variable for each item. Arrays are used everywhere. For example, a YouTube playlist that holds a list of videos, or a classroom app that stores all the student names and marks. Now, creating and accessing arrays. We have seen how we can define an array with values. In our case, an array of students with student names. Another way of doing it is to create an empty array and then fill the values at different indexes. An example would be like this. Now, another way of defining the array is like this. Let's say, for example, keeping consistent the example, let's make another array marks of students as an empty array. And marks at index 0 is 85, for example. Marks at index 1 is 99. Marks at index 2 is 103, for example. Now, if we do the console log, we can see marks. Browser again and refresh it here. You can see this Rahul is from the first console statement and second console statement. At index 0, we have 85, index 1, we have 99, and index 2, we have 103. So in the first example, we assigned a list of students as an array to the students variable. Of course, it is an array type variable now. And this marks, we defined it as an empty array, but later on added the marks to it. As usual, if we want to access the marks at the index 1, we just put marks, and then in these braces, we put 1, then go to the browser, refresh it, and we can see 99 here. The 99 is at the index 1. Now let's look at some basic operations that we can do with the arrays. Array.push adds an item at the end of the array. Array.shift removes the first item from an array. Array.pop removes the last item in an array. Array.unshift adds an item at the start of an array. Array.length is a property to check the number of items in an array. Let's do some operations on this student array. For example, if we want to remove a student, what do we do? we do students dot pop. And what will this do? It will remove the student at the end. Which student is at the end? Sarah is at the end. It should remove this student and log students. Let's just comment this out. Go to the browser and refresh it. We can see we have only two students left inside the students array. It's Aisha and Rahul. Sarah has been removed. And now if we want to add an item at the end of the array, what we have to do? We have to do students dot push. Let's say we push Ali. So we have commented this pop operation. These are the students already present in the array, and it will add Ali to this array at the end. Go to the browser, refresh this, and we see Aisha, Rahul, Sarah, and Ali at the end. Now, what if we want to remove the first item from the array? What we do is we do students dot shift. Go to the browser, refresh. Now the first student has been removed from this students array. The first student was Aisha, and it is no more in the array. Now, what if we want to add an item at the beginning of the array? Let's say students dot, we have to do unshift Fatima. Now what it is going to do, it's going to add Fatima at the first, then it will be Fatima, Aisha, Rahul, Sarah. Then we have pushed Ali. Let's save it and refresh it. You can see Fatima at the beginning, Aisha at the first index, at the index 1, index 2 is Rahul, Sarah, and Ali. I have already told you that if we want to access an item of an array at a particular index, we can access the item at a particular index like this. Refresh, and at the third number is now it's actually fourth number, Sarah. Index 3 is the fourth number. Think of push as adding one more seat at the end of the classroom, and pop as removing the last seat from the classroom. Since the individual items of an array can be accessed by an index, we can use looping statement to iterate and access each item of an array. In our case, let's access students array with a for loop. Let's just remove all those operations and go back to our original array. Now you see what we can do is if we have to access individual items of an array, we can do the loop like this. We can start the loop from 0 index and stop it at I is less than students dot length. So I already told you this property uses the number of items in the array. What is the number of items? It is 3. So a plus plus. We do console dot log student at the index I. We can use accessing at the index I equals concatenate I. Let's just comment this out. Now if we go back to the browser, refresh, and you can see Aisha is accessed at the index I equal to 0, Rahul is accessed at the index I equal to 1, Sarah is at the index 2. Let's see what this gives us. I told you it will give us the number 3. Here is the number 3. Why do we choose less than here, not less than or equal to? We didn't choose less than or equal because the value of I would then go from 0 to 4, and at the index 4 we have nothing, and it will give us undefined at the index 4th index. That's essentially I equal to 3. You can see it has given us undefined. So make sure these are the common mistakes that are made by the students, so make sure you do not do this when you're working with the arrays. You should always go from index 0 and up till less than the length of the array. That's how you should work with the arrays. Here loop helps us go through each student in the array one by one. Now the mini project, class attendance list. Let's say we have a student list. Now let's do the mini project. The mini project would be, let's say if we have to do the attendance of these students, what we can do is console log attendance of the students. We have students dot for each function. This is the student dot index. Now this is a new concept for you. Students dot for each. For each is a function of an array. What it does is this for each takes a callback function as an argument, and it iterates over each item of the array and passes it to this function. Now it is up to us what we have to do with the value. The first argument of this callback function would be student, or the value of the value at a particular index, and this is the index. And what we can do, we have to call them simply calling for student. Now if we refresh, what it will do, it will print this calling for student at the first. It will be Aisha, then Rahul, then Sarah. Refresh it. Attendance of the student, calling for student Aisha, calling for student Rahul, calling for student Sarah. We can even call them with their roll numbers. Let's say their indexes or their roll numbers. So we don't put the 0 as a roll number. Then what we can do is we can just add 1 to this index. It will automatically be first, second, and third. So we can maybe put it like this. So it can be calling for student 1, and then the student name would be printed. Go to the browser and refresh it. Oh, I is not defined. You see, when you hit these errors, you learn something. You can see this I is not defined anywhere in the scope. So instead of I, we have to put index. Go back to the browser, refresh it. Now it's good. Calling for the student 1, Aisha. Calling for student 2, Rahul. The student 3, Sarah. That was the mini project. You can use arrays to store and update a list of students, subjects, or even marks, just like managing your class records. Arrays help us group related data together, whether it's a list of students, list of subjects, or video titles. Arrays make it easy to store and manage them efficiently. What will you use the arrays for? Do let us know in the comments below. In the next video, we will learn about objects, so make sure you subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.